Welcome back, everyone. Let's talk about Glass, the newest M. Night Shyamalan film and the third film, continuing with Unbreakable and Split. Now, going into Glass, I was really anticipating it because I thought Unbreakable on rewatch, and I just reviewed Unbreakable and Split. On rewatch, Unbreakable was incredible, and on rewatch, Split was honestly just as incredible in a different way. And then going into Glass, critical reviews for this movie were really, like, they weren't negative, they were just very mixed. Like, I feel like this is a movie where half of the people in the world are going to enjoy it, and then half the people in the world are not going to enjoy it. And there will be people who are in between. And I do like, even though this didn't get amazing critical reception, I don't care. Because last night after I watched this, it took me a whole day to really think about this movie and how I felt about it. And I'm going to keep it spoiler free, but last night, whenever I watched the movie, I thought to myself, this is good, this is good. There are moments where it lost me. And thinking about it, after last night, thinking about the movie in full and how I felt about it, I feel like the reason why I didn't dislike it, but I felt like it was not as good as the first two. And I still think if I had to rank all three of these films, it would be my third favorite, if I had to rank these three films in this trilogy. But there were moments in the movie last night where I was honestly kind of upset about, and the ending in particular. And thinking about it all day with that ending, I thought to myself, if I got that, if that invoked such an emotion, why am I so angry about it? And I really felt kind of cheated at the end of the movie, like I really did. And then today, thinking about it all day, I really thought that, you know, if he could do a ballsy thing like that, like he did with the ending, then that has to mean something good. And honestly, thinking about it, I really enjoy the ending now. I'm glad I took my time to review this, because last night I was feeling differently about it, and today my thoughts I feel like have solidified a little more. But like I said, in terms of like ranking these three films, it would probably be my third favorite out of all three of them. But I think that this still has a lot of great things about it. I think all the performances are great, and they're really solid, like they are in the last two movies. The use of connecting all these characters is really interesting and cool. And the way that this is again a grounded superhero movie like the last two works in its favor. And one of the twists at the end of the movie where it's revealed something, like a big thing happens and it's revealed, I was kind of like, what? Like, that's a weird twist, but I grew to like it just thinking about it, because again, it does something that makes logical sense from the get-go with these three movies. And I won't spoil what it is, but it makes total sense. So I really did like that as well. And again, visually, like the other two movies, it's really, really good looking as a movie. The performances are great. The score is good. It's not as great as the last two, but it's still a good score. And I really just love that connectivity to the other movies, and I really enjoyed where this ended. Excuse me. I had to hold on for a second. I was going to sneeze. But I didn't know how long it was until it was gonna happen, but yeah, this movie as a whole, to me, yeah, I don't like it as much as the last two, but I think that it still is a very well done movie with an ending that's ballsy, where you don't, like, I was angry at it, but as I thought about it more and more, like, the ending makes total sense for me. And everything about this really is totally fine. It's just not, I don't love it as much as the first two, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's kind of like how people feel with, like, Spider-Man 3, Return of the Jedi, you know what I mean? Like, the third movie, the third in the trilogy, where it's like, oh, it's not as good. I still think it's a good movie. I think it does work very well. it's just got a couple moments that I'm trying to remember, and I feel like if I need watch this again, it will solidify what I thought was kind of not as great as the other two. But there are some moments in the movie where I'm just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Um, oh, and I want to mention without spoiling it, there is a scene in this movie with Mr. Glass as a kid that was a standout moment that I just sat there like I I like I don't want to ruin it, but it's like the first Unbreakable has a scene similar to this with Mr. Glass, and I don't want to ruin it, but there is a fantastic scene with him as a kid, and it just blew me away, and I was in shock just watching this moment in the movie. So everybody was really good. It was very visually, cinematography wise, it was very good. These characters are great. The story's good. I love the fact that they did something also where they were going to do a certain thing, and they built on this thing that's going to happen, that's going to happen, that's going to happen, and then it didn't happen. And I really thought that was cool, and if you watch the movie, you'll understand. I feel like I'm not really spoiling anything. But overall, I really did enjoy this, despite having a few quirks with it. But I still think that this, even though it is the weaker of the three, I still enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed the conclusion after I took a while to think about it. So yeah, that's how I feel basically about Glass. I really enjoyed it. And who knows, maybe if I watch it again, I might think differently. But as of now, I did enjoy it a lot. With its ballsiness and with everything that Shyamalan does, it's great, is in this movie. And I like how he follows that formula of how great he is so in most of his movies. Except for those couple, like Lady in the Water or like The Happening. But like, you know what I mean. Or like Last Airbender. But you know what I mean. Like, when he's great, he's great. And this is a very solid outing from M. Night Shyamalan. So that's how I felt about Glass. Tell me down below what you guys think about Glass, if you've seen it, if you're going to see it. And thank you guys so much for watching.